All right, the LA Chargers just got not a double, but a triple dose of good news, back to back to back good news. And there are three guys, unknown dudes, that just stood out and caught the attention of Jim Harbaugh. And it's interesting. If you're new to this channel, we're Lions fans. We're in Michigan, but we love talking Chargers football because of that man. All right. Also because we watched the Chargers like crazy growing up. We feel like very similar organizations, right? There's been some struggle through the last 20 to 30 years, but also, there's no two better uniforms in the NFL than the Lions and the Chargers. I'm just going to come out there and say it. So easy to watch them growing up. Just absolutely loved them. Whether you're watching here from San Diego, LA, or a Chargers fan around anywhere in the USA or around the world, thank you for watching. Let's talk about these three players, one by one, who stood out to Harbaugh. And the first one, we're not going to spend a ton of time talking about him. I'm going to spend a lot of time on the second guy. But the first one is Raheem Rocket Sanders. I already did a video on him, so I might come back to him in just a little bit later. But here's the thing about Rocket Sanders. I feel like he was one of those guys that just straight up, if I can be honest, it felt like he was going to make this team, and it was a given like that. I honestly, when you watch him, when you see what he does, when you look at his RAS, when you look at what the production that he had when he was at Arkansas, or I think it was Arkansas, even before he was at South Carolina, which he moved there to be closer to his kids, like, it's one of those things to me where it just felt like, yeah, dude's going to make the team. Like, I mean, look at this guy. He's a 220-pound, 6-foot back with really good speed and size. That's who he is. Like, this fits perfectly. This feels like it's like the guy is the same running back, but more athletic than Najee Harris. He's the same running back as far as athleticism goes, just not as productive as Amarian Hampton. Like, this just screams what Chargers football is about. This screams what Jim Harbaugh offense is about. This one makes sense. I would be shocked if he doesn't make the team. I would be shocked if he doesn't make the team. And the thing to remember about Rocket Sanders, last year he had 183 carries. He had 881 yards behind a mediocre to poor South Carolina offensive line. Mediocre to poor. But he turned it in. He almost 5 yards per carry, 11 touchdowns. He also had 27 catches for over 300 yards. But what a lot of people forget is that 2 years ago, in 2022, he played 13 games. He had 224 attempts for almost 1,500 yards at 6.5 yards per carry. This is a guy that if he was able to go out 2 years ago, if he was able to go into the NFL 2 years ago, he probably would have been a third-round pick. But 2 years later, he's not there just because, team change, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's interesting, but it's encouraging. But the person I want to talk about next is very unique, and it's Luke Grimm. Luke Grimm is a very interesting prospect to me. I mean, he is a very interesting prospect to me. I think when I look at him, you see this guy, he's 5'10 and a half, 5'11", right? 190 pounds, not the biggest wide receiver. And here's the way that they will align him, all right? This is what they'll say. He is a pesky slot receiver who consistently gave defensive backs nightmares on Saturdays. He's not particularly tall or possess blazing speed, but one thing Grimm knows how to do is what? Get open. And that was all over his tape. But here's the unique thing. Yeah, he was a good route runner and all of that kind of stuff. They actually used him to go deep very, very often at Kansas. I thought that was very unique. But when I see him, I just look at a guy, maybe Kansas didn't know how to use him that well, right? I look at how he got 690 yards, 51 catches. That's great in the college game, by the way. That's a fantastic season. This dude's Ladd McConkey's backup. Like, he can come in and immediately be the number 2 slot receiver. Like, I really do think it is very possible that he could do it. Not necessarily a given, but when you look at wide receivers, there is a certain level of athleticism they have to possess, and there's a certain level of things that actually can show, are you going to have the ability to be a good slot receiver? And Luke Grimm has those athletic traits, right? He has good long speed, right? Look at this, 84th percentile at a 4.46. The dude can run. He can run. He has good long speed, but he has great composite agility. This is what you're looking for. How quickly can he run into and get out of cuts, get into and out of his breaks? That agility grade is what speaks directly to that. And they will continue to do it. I love guys like Luke Grimm. Where you're just like, where did they come from? Right? Like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? He went in college and he never had just this ridiculous coaching staff or anything like that. So he's probably a little bit underdeveloped. Just a little bit underdeveloped. All right? And so why not bring a guy in like the Grim Reaper to have a shot to make this team? I think it's a loaded wide receiver core, but he's still got a shot. Now all of a sudden you go from what are we doing at wide receiver? What are we doing at running back last year? Think about this. I just want you to think about your team last year. The wide receiving core, you're like, oh man, what are we going to do? I hope Ladd McConkey's good. Right, he is. And at running back, you're like, J.K. Dobbins, really? That's our go-to guy right now? He's been injured his entire career. And now all of a sudden you have 3 deep at running back, no problem. And that's not even talking about Kamani Vidal and what he might end up bringing, right? And you're going like 5 or 6 deep at wide receiver, just like that. The offense, the line, they started with the line, and now they've overhauled the weapons. It is going to be a completely different thing. It is going to be so much fun to watch. And then the last person who stood out to Jim Harbaugh is not a surprise at all. It is Steve-O Klotz. This is a big-bodied, tight end, fullback, kind of utility kind of guy. This is the kind of guy that Jim Harbaugh just loves. Just this gritty dude. He's not athletic at all. Look at that. Look at all that red. Look at all that yellow. All right? And it's not Charger yellow. Okay? It's mediocre yellow. That's what it stands for when you're looking at it in an RAS score. It means mediocre. He's not fast. He's not slow. He's not big. He's not small. He's not super explosive, but he's also not explosive, but he has poor agility. And so, like, when you look at this guy, he just doesn't excel anywhere. The only place he accelerates is getting dirty, right? And having that kind of mentality, which Harbaugh loves. So let me ask you this question. Which one of these 3 prospects that Jim Harbaugh came out and said these dudes could be really good, which one excites you the most? Is it Rocket Sanders at running back, even though he might be buried on the depth chart? Is it Luke Grimm at wide receiver, thinking like, yeah, this dude can replace Ladd McConkey if McConkey gets hurt because he had some injury stuff in college? Or is it Steve-O Klotz? My guess is it's going to be one of the first 2, but just thought I'd ask. All right, hey, thanks for watching. So great being here. Go have a taco. See ya.